Welcome to Lane Turo University. My name is Conrad Layn. Please follow the video through. It's going to be a few seconds. I'm going to go through my Infinity Q50. It's absolutely beautiful. That's been totaled because it was stolen and is not being covered by Turo insurance. I'm going to teach you how to get out of the situation and how to mitigate the risk and how to get paid out, because sometimes bad things happen and Turo insurance is not covering it. Kind of disappointed, just being honest, but I still do love Turo. But it's absolutely a disaster. My car was stolen. So follow the video through. I'm going to show what it used to look like with my red car fleet and what it's at now in the impound. Completely totaled. It was found upside down, damaged city property, and the criminal was caught, badly injured, but now Turo insurance is not covering me. So follow the video through, find out what happened. Hey everyone, this is Conrad Layn here. Welcome to the fleet of red cars. I love red. We'll go one by one. You can check them out on Turo. Let's go here, walking. Let's flip this around. Red 1, red 2, red 3, red 4. Like beauty. Anyone want to book it on Turo? Let me know. I am here at the impound. My vehicle was damaged due to a car accident. Stolen by some criminals. Absolutely destroyed. I was forced to pay the impound fees. I definitely want to be reimbursed for that. Looks like someone has a Jordan shoe, size 6.5. Thank you for following me through. Just hanging out in the pool, just cooling off, but just don't want to be distracted and want to stay in the lesson. So as I mentioned, 5 of my cars have been stolen. I own 30 cars currently that I rent on multiple platforms. I rent some of the vehicles independently, rent some of them on Turo, some of them on HireCar, rent some of them on Avail, GetAround, etc. And you could do the same, even be better than me. But the point is this: you want to learn to protect yourself. I personally still love Turo. I have a lot of love for Turo. I think they're an excellent company. I think they're on their way to the multi-billion-dollar range, and I think any company can always become better, and just like any person could become better. So this is not an biased review where I'm being unfair. I'm just sharing my personal experience, and you can take it how you want to. But in my personal opinion, I could afford to hit. But what about Turo hosts that can't afford to hit? And even if you can't afford to hit, you don't want to go through something like this. Again, Turo denied the claim, and the guess what happened was this: the guest was scheduled to return the vehicle on the morning of, like, around 8 o'clock. I'm not sure about the time, forgot, but early in the morning, like around 8 a.m., 8:30, something like that. They dropped it off around 5:30 or 6 a.m., which is fairly earlier. Again, I'm not sure about the exact time, just pulling this from memory, but they dropped it off like over an hour early, and I was not there. And they did not notify me that they're dropping off the vehicle. So that's a big problem. When you do that, that means when you leave a key in the car, it could typically leave the doors unlocked, because even if you try to lock it, most sensor keys keep the doors locked, which is crazy. So you're supposed to meet up with the host, give them the key, or the guest simply just forgot. I'm not sure which one it was. I don't even know if they actually dropped off the car, truthfully. But the problem is this: since they dropped off the car and they took pictures at my location that matched the pickup pictures, Turo considered that as a successful, proper drop-off, even though I was not there. Because now, since the car was technically stolen after the guest already dropped off the car, even though they abandoned the car and didn't notify me it was there, and gave an opportunity to someone to steal the car, or the guests themselves could stole the car, give it to someone, or sold it to them, or what if some weird criminal situations where people might take your car, took a picture at the lot, or at the location, the home address that matches the pickup pictures. And as long as they do that, Turo can say that it was properly dropped off. That's very dangerous, because what happens is this encourages bad behavior for a Turo guest who might be in a rush or might be unscrupulous, or try to maybe say, hey, let's steal this car, rip it for parts, or whatever the case is, and just take a picture at the end of the trip and would drive off. And now we can lie and say that we dropped the car off when we really didn't. That's why you're supposed to verify with a Turo guest, unless it's a Turo Go trip, and there's a way to process this. But the way they did was completely wrong. I didn't have any backup in my personal opinion. And again, I'm just being honest. For those Turo hosts, you want to protect yourself. So what you want to start doing is, in this situation, if a Turo guest drops off your car randomly, you weren't aware of it, you want to immediately let Turo know as soon as possible. Second, I highly recommend, and it might be too late to already do this, but you want to start looking for products that give you kill switch. The reason why this is very important, because as soon as this happens, even if someone steals a car, you cut that baby off and it's done. But the problem is, if you don't find out, they could have already damaged your car, they could already rip different parts, they could already be hit 2 or 3 hours away. You want to make sure that you have a kill switch in your car, because unfortunately, these type of situations, if the guest takes a picture of the checkout showing at the pickup address, this shows that the car was dropped off, and Turo can say, hey, you know what, that's a proper drop off, and now it's outside the reservation period. The Turo insurance does not cover anything outside the reservation period. So you want to be very careful. You can be nice and wait for people, for example, say they're running late, but you please notice, after the 30-minute grace period, and even during the 30-minute grace period, if someone steals your car, damages, if it gets hit, and you're waiting for someone, trying to be nice to them, and your car gets damaged, Turo insurance is not covered. That's your personal insurance, or you're liable, not the guest, because they haven't picked up the car yet. Now, if the guest drops off the car late and you give them opportunity and time to keep the car, and they drop it off, you're not covered either. If it's outside the reservation fee, if they drop the car successfully, something happens to it as soon as they drop off the car, no matter if you're there or not, you're not covered. Very bad. So you want to start contacting your insurance company and start shopping around and making sure your insurance covers you. Worst case scenario, Turo is a business, and I love Turo. I think they're amazing. I think they're on the next level to getting to multi-billions, but it is what it is. Nothing's perfect. I'm not perfect. No one's perfect. We all have our own opinions, perspectives. It's about protecting yourself. And that's why you're here at Layn University. I'm sharing the bad, ugly, and the good, because yes, I talk about how to make 6 figures, how to make a lot of money on Turo. We all want to hear that, right? But you got to learn how to protect yourself through the bad as well. So if you're in a bad situation, you want to start looking for kill switches, devices that get installed inside your car that cannot be removed, that we can shut the car off immediately if they're stolen or compromised. Next, you want to contact your insurance company, make sure that your insurance protects this type of coverage, because yes, maybe you're satisfying the state minimums or the stipulations that your state requires. I'm in California, for example. Maybe you're in Texas, maybe you're in Hawaii, wherever you are in another state, country, county. Turo's in 56 counties and countries and county. You want to make sure to contact your insurance company, make sure that they cover as soon as the Turo insurance is off your car. So as soon as it's considered outside the reservation period, you want to make sure to ask your insurance company and get it in writing that you're covered. Because if the guest drops it off, mistakes happen, things that people are running and going, trying to catch their flight, they're in town, whatever the case is, they might just drop it off. You want to make sure, just in case Turo does not cover you, that's not your only backup. You want to make sure to have personal insurance that covers you no matter if someone steals the car, if it's outside the reservation period, that falls on your personal insurance or on your commercial insurance that you purchase yourself. Make sure your commercial insurance or personal insurance covers this type of exposure. Very, very important. It's going to cost you, because you'll mess around and lose a car, it can be stolen, and now you're done. You have no coverage because Turo's not going to cover you. Just like in my situation, Turo did not cover me. They declined the claim. That's just how it is. And I lost. 5 of my cars have been stolen. I've recovered 4 of them and everything. One's still missing. So that's where you can have tracking on it. Some of these people, they do this technique called phishing, where they can unlock your car. So maybe your car is parked. Maybe you have multiple cars like me, and someone phishes your car, right? Keep the kill switches in there. And even if that's the case, you want to make sure that when you file personal insurance, you've done everything on your side where you have kill switches, you have things showing that, hey, this is not me that's behind it, because insurance companies are also testing and starting to become suspicious of also if are you involved with this. They have a lot of liabilities, and typically speaking, if you can't prove it, you want to make sure that you're not the person that caused the situation, like leaving your key in the car, for example, and someone like unlocking the cars. Like, that's technically not it really being stolen. That's just being irresponsible, depending on how some insurance companies might view that. This goes really deep. I'm trying to keep it light, but it looks like it's going kind of long. But the point is, contact your insurance company, make sure it covers your type of exposure as soon as your Turo insurance ends and is also the reservation period. Next, start interviewing and locating police departments in your area. This might sound obvious, or maybe you haven't thought of this, but you want to interview. And I'm not going to mention any names, because again, I found an amazing police department where they actually know me on first name basis. It's, again, 5 of my cars have been stolen this year. And again, I ran on multiple platforms, and it's not to throw light at anyone, but again, Turo did not cover my claim, which They have their own reasons why they do that. It's their rules say if it's outside the reservation period, if the guest drops off the car, and even if I'm not there or the tour house isn't there, at this point, it's counted as a successful drop off. I didn't necessarily agree with that, but it is. We all have our own rules, and I can afford to hit. But I feel bad. What if someone can't afford to hit? And even if you can't afford to hit, I don't think you should personally go through that. But if you do, you want to make sure you're covered by your own personal insurance that covers this type of exposure, or commercial insurance that covers this exposure, so that you're always covered regardless if there's coverage or not. Especially if you're thinking about wanting to be that nice tour host, which I do agree you should be nice, and waiting for your tour guests and not cutting this and not canceling the reservation, or maybe you really are trying to build your fleet and you only have 1 or 2 reservations. You're like, hey, I need to really build this thing up, so I have to wait a little bit longer. As you start building your fleet, you can start changing the rules around a little bit and saying, you know what, I'm only giving you 30 minutes that I require, and that's it. But as soon as you wait for your Turo guests, always know that Turo insurance does not start at this point. The rules might change until the reservation period starts. So that means when the key's in their hand, the guest has accepted the vehicle, Turo insurance starts. If it's before that, that's your own insurance or your own commercial insurance. Be very, very careful with that, because if you wait for a guest, remember, you're not covered before the guest gets the car key, right? That's, in my opinion, pretty fair. But you're not covered. You know what I mean? The guest shouldn't be responsible for that, but maybe you might think that might be a Turo insurance situation, but Turo insurance doesn't cover you for that. Make sure you're covered. Don't blame Turo. Don't start like pointing your finger at Turo. Yes, maybe we agreed Turo should cover this, but the point is, it's your responsibility. Turo is an amazing company, in my personal opinion, that is giving us an opportunity in the marketplace to be able to market your cars, and that's just part of the risk. Business, there's always risk. So even though I've been through a lot, I still have a lot of love for Turo, but my goal is to teach you how to educate yourself on how to protect yourself and mitigate the risk. I have a background in finance and insurance mitigation, so I want to share a few of my strategies as I have. Start interviewing police departments and figure out who's the fastest. Ask them, how do they respond to people who rent cars? Can they take your report the same day? Will they give you the 14 days to get the report? Will they put a stipulation or some type of rule on there where you can't report until a certain amount of days have elapsed? Make sure you find this out. Find out how they recover. Do they send a deputy, or do they send a highway patrol person? Do they send a officer to the scene that the car was stolen at? Do they start interviewing you right away, and also getting a detective on it right away to start looking for? Do they subpoena city cameras? You want to figure out. I found an amazing police department that has been really phenomenal and located all vehicles, even went down with me to the tow yards to get the car out. Won't even negotiate the price to get it out of the impound and everything. I had to pay the fee for it, but I got reimbursed for it, but he still negotiated the fee. I've been through this for over 6 years now in this rental car business, and I've never found a police department that's been that great. So my theory is, try to find, if you can, make your Turo home location close to a police department that's amazing. Interview like at minimum 10 different police departments in your area. Maybe you're in a small town and it's only one. Hey, but if you're in like a city like myself, there's usually quite a few police departments just on different blocks. In my area, there's like 7 of them. You know what I mean? And depending on where you park, that police station cannot assist you. Because they have their own beat, they have their own jurisdiction. So you want to park your cars wherever that jurisdiction is, if you have the ability to. Maybe you're at home, maybe you're just starting out, maybe you can't do that, maybe it's an inconvenience. But as you start building your fleet, try to, even if you can't meet at the police station, or try to meet near the police station, or meet in the jurisdiction of the police station that seems to have the most fastest response. That's my recommendation for that. One of the best tips that will assist you with that is following that, contacting your insurance, and also making sure to get some type of GPS and kill switch, so that if someone does steal your car, you cut it off before someone damages it. My car is completely totaled, destroyed. Turo is not paying for it. And again, I could be mad about this, or I could just accept it as a lesson, saying that, hey, even if you do everything right, things just might go wrong. Because again, I was not even aware that the person dropped the car off. So that gave an opportunity for someone to steal the car, or the guest could steal the car. They ended up getting in an accident. Whoever did steal the car, they got in an accident, and now it's in an impound, destroyed, and now that's what I'm going through. So that's about it. Anyways, love you guys. Like, subscribe, share. Thanks for hanging out with me at the pool.